So today is a very special occasion. Today, July 11th, 2020, we honor the class of 2020, who have worked so hard for 13 years to finally at last graduate. The event that signifies the end of your life you've led up until now and the beginning of your life as an adult. Right now, we have all of the class of 2020 walking across the football field up to the stage, and I can only imagine how exciting this must be for all of them. And it truly is exciting to be here today. I know many people, including myself, were very skeptical about how something like this would go off with the pandemic that we're obviously facing right now. But I am happy to say that it looks absolutely amazing down there. I know this is a lot more than what most people are expecting, and I can't imagine anyone being disappointed by this. So right now, everyone's lining up. On the football field, we have a lot of seats lined up for all of the seniors. They all have names on them, so everyone will sit down once everyone's prepared, and then we will begin the ceremony itself. And today we also have a beautiful turnout. The bleachers on both sides of the football field are filled as much as they could be. Social distancing is being practiced, don't worry. And it's absolutely amazing to see how many people came out here despite everything going on to support their children and their friends and everyone, because again, this is a huge deal. This is a big part of everyone's life. Everyone looks forward to this moment for years and years, and after it happens, they look back on it for the rest of their life with great memories. And so seeing that it's this perfect for everyone is just great. Later today, I've also been informed that we will be joined by State Representative Jackie Walorski, who I believe will be giving a speech. We will also, I believe, be receiving a speech from the Superintendent Byron Sanders. And if I have any more updates for those, I will make sure to let you guys know. And when the time comes, you'd better believe you'll be hearing those, because that's pretty exciting. It's cool to think that Jimtown High School is a fairly small school. Most people outside of the northern Indiana area, you ask them, hey, Jimtown High School? They're probably gonna have no idea what you're talking about. And yet we have our state representative coming here today. That's pretty awesome. That just shows you how cool Jimtown High School is. So if any of you out there listening to this are Jimtown Jimmies, you guys are pretty lucky. You've got a cool school. We've now got about maybe not even quite a quarter of the students lined up. Looking at all these people, I am in complete shock of how huge our senior class was. I've gone to school with these people for years now. I never realized we had this many seniors, though. I guess I don't see a whole bunch because of the grade difference, but I never would have guessed there were this many. I would have figured there were maybe a quarter of this. Like the amount of people we have up front now, I would have guessed that's about the size, but no, this is absolutely enormous, and it's awesome. It's cool to think that like I said, I've been going to school with these people for years. It's cool to think that they've all accomplished this amazing thing, and now they get to move on and do whatever else they want with their lives, whether that's college, the military, just going out and getting a job immediately after this. It's all up to them now. The hand-holding's done. They've done what they need to. Now it's up to them. They can spend the rest of their lives however they want. Hopefully that's a good thing. I know we worry about some of these people, but I think they've got this. They've got this handled. They're not going to screw this up. All right. All right. Joining me now is Zach Quiet, our finance director. Welcome, Zach.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. So how are you doing today?
We're doing great. Happy to see all the people that have come out for this. They're walking in with their masks on, which is very exciting to see. And just here to celebrate our Jimmies. It's great to see students back on campus and enjoying this beautiful atmosphere.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and you called these people Jimmies, and they are proud students of Jimtown High School. And so, as our finance director, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on Jimtown as a school and as a community?
Jimtown's a amazing place. I've been here for about 3 years now, and grown to very much love it. Great community, care very much about their Jimmies, and like the saying goes, once a Jimmy, always a Jimmy.
Oh,
yeah. They take care of their people, and they're happy to support any needs that we have. And so as a school district, we've done our best to stay from a financial perspective in good shape, and be stewards of this community's money, and make sure that they have the facilities that are deserved.
Yeah. And when it comes to that stuff, I'd say you guys are doing a great job. I saw this turf. This was actually my first time seeing our turf today. Believe it or not, we've had it for a year. I was told this is my first time seeing it. That looks amazing. So, we were able to afford that. I know we recently there's a tower back there. I don't remember what that's for, but that's helped out a lot, I'm sure. So we're constantly being able to not just upkeep our school and maintain what we have, but we're able to continue growing and improving. So that's always a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's a big goal of ours, is just to keep things looking nice, and so that we can appreciate these facilities. The turf field was a great addition. Not only does it look beautiful, it also allows our different sports to utilize it with our new men's and women's soccer teams here. We can get our gym classes out here using that, and also JYFL and some other community groups like that now have the opportunity to come out and utilize this beautiful facility. You'll notice we just resurface the parking lots.
Yeah, that's beautiful too.
The softball field, we put some new lights on those that are looking really nice. And you'll notice over the summer, we're getting a lot of the metal facade or fascia painted on the building. So,
oh yeah, I see that over there.
Yeah. So we're very proud of the campus, and work hard to really just make it shine for the community.
Yeah. Now I'm curious, what kind of stuff goes into what you do for all this? Because you've given us some ideas of different projects you guys have worked on and all that, but what goes into it? Because I'm sure it's not as simple as just saying, all right, we want turf, or okay, we want a new blacktop, and then it just happens. I'm sure there's got to be a bit more to it than that.
Certainly there's from my seat, we look at our revenue streams, and which is state funded, locally funded sources, and then we try to again be stewards of those dollars and get the best use out of those. And so our team, Mr. Wolford, myself, Mystique, Mr. Sanders, Kim Johnson, Ms. Johnson, we all work hard together to do what we think will benefit the community. We have a great supportive board that has a lot of great ideas, and we just try to execute on those and to the best of our ability.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys, again, definitely seem to be doing a good job. If you weren't, we would definitely notice. But, since we haven't noticed, I assume you guys are doing your jobs right. And that's always a good thing. That's awesome.
Good. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So what would you say is your favorite part of all the stuff you get to do?
My favorite part is, these types of events, graduation, to see, this is what all of our teachers and staff, faculty and staff work hard for all year long. To see these kids that started as kindergartners and finish as seniors and walk off into their adulthood. One of my first days here, Mystique brought me over to the kindergarten, or to the elementary, and had me help get the kindergarten students off the bus. And it's quite an experience. It's their first time being away from mom and dad and really stepping into the halls of Jimtown as a Jimmy. And so to have those experiences, and then to come to an event like this, where you see those kids have now turned into adults and moving forward with their life. And then of course, Jimmy athletics is always fun. Coming to a basketball game or a football game, and being part of the community is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, if you could accomplish one thing, like your dream project for Jimtown, what would that be?
Oh man, that's a great question.
You better have a great answer.
Yeah, right. We've got a lot going on, I think. I think the football field was a big one. I mean, This is a beautiful facility. It's great when you think about the number of people that get to come out and see this and enjoy it. Again, in many different ways, not just on Friday nights with the varsity football team, but our soccer teams and all those different groups that can take advantage of that. And there's no one project we're focused on. I think it's just really keeping this place vibrant and making it feel fresh.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I see our seniors are wrapping up. Almost everyone's ready. So before long, we're going to be transitioning to that.
All right. Well, great. Thanks for having me. And you guys do a great job with the Bago broadcaster. So keep it up.
Thank you very much. All right. Now, as I'm talking to you now, the last, I believe, 6 students are approaching, and then I think everyone's going to sit down, and we'll move on with this ceremony. I'm not quite sure what happens next. Believe it or not, this is actually my first time attending a graduation, but this is very exciting. I like it so far. It's crazy to think that next year I'll be a part of the group out there. I can only imagine. But for now, we're wrapping everything up. Some teachers are walking over here. Man. You know, I'm not even one of the seniors. I don't know a whole lot of these people, but it's still a very emotional moment. I can feel it, you know, just being here. You can tell these people are happy. They're going through a lot of feelings, I'm sure, but this is definitely a great moment for all of them. All right, looks like we're about to start.
I'd like to welcome you here at this time. Could we please have our senior class secretary, Miss Grace Crocker.
Hello, my name is Grace Crocker, and I would like to welcome you to this graduation ceremony honoring the class of 2020. Finally, I would like to kick off the ceremony with a prayer. If you would, please bow your heads with me. Dear Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to come together in celebration and ceremony today. Thank you for gathering us safely together in the midst of these circumstances. Lord, you have truly blessed the class of 2020 throughout the years. The good memories, meaningful relationships, and learning experiences you have given us are something we will treasure for many years to come. We are also grateful for the people you have placed in our paths who have had an impact on us and helped us grow into the people we are today. There are so many people who have put their time, energy, and effort into shaping us into better humans, and it truly means a lot to us. Father, as we close this chapter, I pray that we look back and see our triumphs and chase after new victories. I pray that we see our past mistakes and learn from them in the next chapter, that we grow closer to you in this time of new beginnings and bring glory to your name alone. As I close, Father, I ask that you lay a protective hand over this ceremony. Please keep us safe and healthy today and in the coming months. Please be with the rest of the speakers and each and every graduate as they embark on a new adventure. In your precious name I pray, amen.
All right, that was Grace Crocker, the class secretary. What a wonderful way to start off the ceremony.
And now for our salutatorian address, Mr.
Before
Jacob
that,
Coots.
We had the national anthem by the Jimtown High School band. Up next, speaking will be the class vice president, Mr. Jacob Coots.
Hey everyone, I'm Jacob Coots, and I'm honored to say that I'm the salutatorian of Jimtown High School's class of 2020. As the great John Mayer once said, someday I'll fly, someday I'll soar, someday I'll be so much more. We've made it, guys. This is it. We are officially done with high school. All of the hard work and dedication that we've put in since kindergarten has paid off. I'm sure we're all excited to get on to the next chapter of our lives. We'll be able to take our first step into independence as adults. Well, almost independent. Looking at you, Quentin Svetnoff. We'll all be on our way to fulfilling our childhood dreams, and I think I can speak for all of us when I say that we cannot wait to take the next step in becoming the people we have always wanted to be. But this is real life. Not all of us are going to reach our goals. Some of us won't even get close. After all, we're just a bunch of kids from middle of nowhere, Indiana, right? Why would we, of everyone in this world, be the ones who can do whatever we want? What makes us so special that we can overcome every challenge, every hurdle that's placed in our way? The world is tough, and some of us are going to find that out the hard way. However, there's another outlook that we can have on this. Just as easily as we could assume that some of us will fail, we can also assume that some of us will be huge successes. Some of us are going to go on to do great things and truly make an impact on this world. We just have to make sure that we can figure out how we can stop ourselves from being just a number. And yes, that is another John Mayer lyric. Have you figured out that there's a theme to this yet? All right, we're done with those. So, having said that, we have to take a look at our current situation and consider how it has shaped us. We have no idea what normal is going to be like when life is getting back to normal. We have no idea of where to go, what to expect after this, especially after the tough times that we've all been through. I think this leads perfectly into the next lyric. From In Repair, John says, I'm in repair. I'm not together, but I'm getting there. I want to make sure that I put plenty of emphasis on the second part of that line, but I'm getting there. Ever since freshman year, when Mr. Ward drilled the growth mindset into all of our heads, we've known the importance of trusting the process and getting better each and every day. Personally, I know this is a lot easier said than done. Being able to get up day after day and to literally watching history being made every time that there is news about the virus, it gets exhausting. We just have to remember that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope, there always has been hope, and there will always be hope for the future. Whether we can see it or not, the light at the end of the tunnel is always there, and better days are ahead. This leads me into my final lyric, this time from Waiting on the World to Change. One day our generation is going to rule the population. Now, there are two ways that we can take this one, with one being just a little bit better than the other. The first option is the literal interpretation of this line, which roughly translates into a certain class president being the actual president with actual power and actual responsibilities. The other way is that we're going to get through this. Our generation is going to push through and make this world a better place because of it. I truly believe that we have the opportunity to make this world better than it has ever been. I've seen the great things that the class of 2020 has accomplished, and they've gone beyond what I think anyone could have expected to come out of little old Jimtown. Now, after saying all that, option number 2 sounds just a little bit better in my mind, but those are just my thoughts. Take that as you will. I digress. When all is said and done, I could not be more proud to be a member of the class of 2020. I would not trade the memories that I've made with you guys for anything in the world. We really do have something special here, and it's something that I'm going to treasure forever. Thank you, teachers and staff. Thank you, parents. Thank you, class of 2020. Thank you, Jimtown High School, for 4 unforgettable years.
All right. That was the class vice president and salutatorian, Jacob.
Nice job, Jacob.
What a wonderful.
And now for our senior class president's address, Mr. Ethan Allen.
Good afternoon to all my fellow classmates, administrators, board members, teachers, staff, friends, family. Thank you for coming to this long-awaited event to celebrate the class of 2020. My name is Ethan Allen, and I've been selected as your class president for our senior class. With all this crazy events going on in the world right now, I'm grateful that we can come together one last time to celebrate this amazing class. I came to Jimtown my freshman year as a transfer from Catholic school, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think I'd have a good time here. I thought it was gonna be crazy and just different, and now I can honestly say it was one of the greatest we have right here. In the last 4 years, we made lifelong friends, countless memories. There's been so many notable events that have gone over our high school years. So let's take a look back on some of these memorable moments that have shaped our high school experience with our small school community and also around the world. We started our journey back in August of 2016 as the Summer Olympics were heating up in Rio. That November, we saw a new president-elect and the end to the 108-year curse as the Chicago Cubs finally won the World Series. That spring break, I went on my first ever vacation with my friends, not just family, and then it became clear that I had found a home at Jimtown High School. We kicked off our senior year with a new principal, Mr. Sanders, and we all witnessed a total solar eclipse. Heading into the fall, the boys tennis team successfully won the sectional championship. And then that spring, we saw Boggle community come together to assist all that were affected by the historic flooding. And who could forget Hunter Watts winning the state title in wrestling? Junior year, we saw the Bitcoin fall from grace, and our girls won another Powder Puff football title. And the marching band had an amazing run all the way to semi-state. The new school year started hot with Preston Phillips' first in-game dunk in his career over John Glenn. But winter air brought us the polar vortex and an extra long winter break. That was back when we thought e-learning was pretty cool. We won Jimmy Olympics with our Jurassic Junior hallway, and we sat for the SAT exam in our very own gym. The athletic year capped off with our wrestlers bringing home a semi-state title and the softball team being crowned sectional champions. Senior year was set to be one for the books. We were introduced to a new principal as Mr. Sanders was promoted to superintendent of Boggle schools. Mr. Hozinski made the news once again, just as the Area 51 raids were getting hyped up. Jacob Coots was named semifinalist for the National Merit Scholarship, and we had a perfect night for the stadium dedication to our legendary coach, Bill Sharp. Homecoming was unforgettable. We may have lost the game that night, but we were all winners when we crowned Miss Fiona as our queen. The highly awaited launch of Disney Plus wrapped up that calendar year, and we started to anticipate the last semester of high school. 2020 began with the basketball team dominating the holiday tournament in Plymouth as we continued our run as the Cardiac Kids, but we came up short in the sectional championship. Around that time, the term coronavirus started making its way into conversation more and more, but we really didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. Just as senioritis was kicking in, so did COVID-19. We were all ready for our senior trip to New York when we were told that school would be closed for 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We held high hopes that school and spring sports would resume, as all spring sports teams had goals that need to be attained. April 2nd, 2020, the day that turned our senior year upside down. Governor Holcomb canceled classes for the remainder of the year. I've always been taught to look on the positive side of every situation. So after a long sit by the Big J in our baseball outfield, I thought, hey, at least the class of 2020 will forever hold the title Senior Skip Day Champs. While so much has been taken, so much has more been given. We felt the support of the entire Boggle community as things like Adopt a Senior, yard sign delivery, and the senior parade took place. And just as suddenly as our journey through high school began, it came to a close. I can't thank the administration enough for the hard work they have put in to make today possible. I truly mean this when I say I don't think I'll forget the fun times I had in this community. Our seniors seem to have a special bond that will never be broken. To my fellow seniors, I wish you all the best of luck to your next steps in life. In times of need, remember, you can always reach out to not just me, but anyone in our class. We are a team for life. I'd do anything for this class. And to all my fellow Jimmies out there, go out and make the world a better place. Love you all. It's been an honor to be on stage today. Thank you.
All right, that was the senior class president, Ethan Allen. Once again, an amazing speech.
Thank you, Ethan. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to beautiful Netfield at Sharp Stadium for Jimtown High School's 107th commencement ceremony. I'm Mike Stout, and I proudly served this year as the interim principal of our school. I would like to personally thank each and every one of you for being here today to celebrate not only a very special occasion, but also a very special class of 2020. For this senior class, as well as seniors around the nation, it goes without saying that they missed out on potentially some very special moments. Whether it was a final concert or a senior prom, a final athletic season, or the last few days of, yes, just being in class with their classmates. This year's seniors were denied opportunities that make many wonderful memories that maybe some of us took for granted. In fact, some 2020 seniors throughout this great nation of ours were even denied a proper commencement ceremony, instead settling for a virtual or even a split graduation ceremony. I would like to go on record today by saying we too could have been there. We could have been just another one of the many schools that were simply unable to host a proper celebration for our seniors due to all the unfortunate circumstances that we faced. But the reason that we are all here today, properly celebrating this class, is simple. It's because we have a superintendent, Mr. Byron Sanders, that refused to stop searching for solutions to all of the reasons that we were hearing about why exactly we should not host a live graduation ceremony. It's because of his tireless devotion to our students that we are here today. And I'm personally glad to say that we are. So please join me in showing Mr. Sanders our appreciation for all that he has done to make this day possible for our seniors with a big round of applause. Thank you very much. So much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanders. It means a lot to all of us.
I wish to begin by extending our heartfelt appreciation to Mrs. Kathy Boffman and the Jimtown High School Concert Band for beginning today's ceremony. We really appreciate it. Please give them a round of applause. And at this time, I would like to ask, if you have not done so already, to please silence all of your cell phones in order to maintain the reverence and integrity that this ceremony requires and deserves. Also, if you plan to take pictures, we ask that you please do so from your seat, making sure that you're not blocking the view of others during the ceremony. This will ensure that the entire audience can see their graduates during today's momentous events. Thank you. This year's senior class officers are 4 terrific individuals that have served as leaders for the class of 2020, not only this year, but in each of their high school years, both in and out of the classroom. At this time, I would like to introduce the 2020 class officers. I ask that each of you stand and be recognized as I call their names. Please hold your applause until I have announced all 4 of them. Mr. Ethan Allen, Class President. Mr. Jacob Coots, Class Vice President. Miss Grace Crocker, Class Secretary. Miss Shania Lee, Class Treasurer. Thank you to each of you for your sacrifices and all that you have contributed to your school, to your classmates, to assist them in making their high school careers positive. You may be seated. Next, I would like to take an opportunity to introduce our scholar leaders. Will our valedictorian, Miss Shania Lee, please stand? Will our salutatorian, Mr. Jacob Coots, please stand? Thank you to each of you for your dedication and leadership that you have displayed throughout your time here at Jimtown High School. We appreciate you both so very much. You may be seated. Thank you. It is extremely important that we take a moment to recognize 2 groups of individuals that have played an important role in the success of this year's senior class. The first group has dedicated their careers to educating our community youth. They are the servant leaders within our society and the foundation of our community school. In both good times and bad, this group of individuals has been there to push and guide, as well as to motivate and encourage your students to dig deeper to accomplish the things that they might not have otherwise thought possible. They occasionally wipe tears of a struggling student, while at other times celebrated with a student over a major accomplishment in their lives. Please join me in recognizing the distinguished faculty of Bago Community Schools, teachers and staff from each of the buildings. Please stand wherever you are in the stadium and be recognized by your community. We appreciate you so much. Please stand. If it were not for the next group of individuals, this occasion would not take place. Will all of the parents, grandparents, and guardians of the class of 2020 please stand and permit your graduates an opportunity to applaud and show their appreciation to you. Please stand. We thank all of you for contributing to the success of these young men and women. Many of our students received various individual awards and recognition during our virtual awards night that took place Friday, June 5th from our auditorium online. We would like to formally recognize them at this time. Seniors, as your category is announced, please stand. Audience members, please hold all of your applause until all of the scholars and award recipients are acknowledged. Will the TCU scholarship winner please stand? Will the scholarship winners of the Community Foundation of Elkhart County please stand? And remain standing, please. Will the Peacemaker Award winner please stand? Will the Hamby Memorial Scholarship recipient please stand? Will the BEA Scholarship winner please stand? Will the Bago Alumni Association Scholarship winners, including the 50-year scholarship for the class of 1970, please stand? Will the Bago Lions Scholar please stand? Will the scholarship winner of the Purdue Elkhart County Club please stand? If you are not currently standing, will the Early College Cord recipients please stand? Will the Work Ethic Certificate recipients please stand? Will those that are not standing but earned an honors or technical honors diploma please stand? If you are still not standing but have earned membership into the National or National Technical Honor Society, please stand. Or if you have earned 15 or more dual credits through Ivy Tech, please stand. If you are not standing but are earning a high school diploma during today's ceremony, please stand and be recognized by your proud community. Please give these seniors a warm round of applause. You may be seated. Just a couple numbers. 94% of this class of 2020 will receive a Core 40 academic honors or technical honors diploma. 63% of the class of 2020 have declared and have been accepted to a 2-year, a 4-year college, university, or a trade school. And I'm especially proud today to tell you that 7 of this year's seniors have enlisted into a branch of the United States military. 3 of those students are not with us here today, as they have already deployed to basic training. Would those seniors that are present today and have enlisted to serve in the United States military, please stand for a moment and be recognized by your appreciative community. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, it is my honor and privilege to introduce our guest speaker for this afternoon. In Bago Township, this individual needs little introduction. She has served in the Indiana House of Representatives from 2005 to 2010, as U.S. Representative for Indiana's 2nd Congressional District since 2013. A lifelong Hoosier dedicated to fighting for Hoosier families with a common sense approach to growing our economy, strengthening our national security, and caring for American veterans. And beyond all else, a friend of Boggle Community Schools. Please join me in welcoming Congresswoman Jackie Walorski to the podium to address the class of 2020.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So much appreciated. Thank you so much. All right, Jimtown Jimmies, let's do a huge cheer for you. Congratulations, graduating class. It's all about you. I came here today. I couldn't wait to get here today. Most of you know I live around the corner. I live between here and DC. I love being here. My husband and I ride bikes around this entire campus every time I'm home. And we watch this field be built. We watched this sod come out and we watched the carpet roll in. And I was so excited to be invited to be a part of your celebration and to stand on this new field. This is an experience I'll never forget. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen happen, and Jimtown will be on the map forever because of this field. And thank you to all you graduates that are here. Thank you to the parents and grandparents. This would not be what it is today if you didn't come out. And thank you to the administrators of the Jimtown School to make this possible, to brave the elements, and to do whatever it took to get us all together so we could be out here in the sunshine in the Hoosier land of Jimtown, Indiana, that I'm proud to be from. So thank you, all of you, for being here today. As we gather here today, it's clearer than ever before that we're celebrating a team event. Every one of your students in leadership have talked about this as a team, and you're a team. We are all full of gratitude for the teachers, administrators, support staff, coaches, volunteers, and parents whose dedication and steady guidance made this possible. Of course, a big congratulations to this amazing graduating class for your hard work. You deserve to celebrate this day and to rejoice in this special moment. I don't have to tell you the events of the past few months that you've heard from your leaders have been anything unlike what I've ever experienced in my lifetime or yours. Our nation has been confronted by unprecedented challenges, from the invisible enemy of COVID-19 to profound economic disruption and uncertainty. We've witnessed suffering and loss, hardship and fear, but we've seen selflessness and collaboration, with Hoosiers stepping up to do their part and lending a hand. Because that's what Hoosiers do in time of need. You can look at every state around this country and you'll never be beat. You will never race to the finish line faster and lend a helping hand to bring somebody with you like Hoosiers do. And we will. And many of you are testaments of that today. We've seen it right here at Jimtown High School and schools around our state. Teachers have found new ways to keep students engaged and ensure they continue to get the best possible education, even outside the classroom. Parents have balanced the needs of home and work and school to ensure that all their children thrive. And to the Jimtown Jimmy seniors graduating today, you have made all of your fellow Hoosiers proud. You've adapted to new ways of learning, and you finished strong under incredibly difficult circumstances. You've set a positive example for the younger students who look up to you. As a result of these historic crises, the end of your senior year did not go according to plan. Your final weeks and months here at Jimtown School were spent at home, away from your teachers and coaches and classmates and friends. The closing days of these formative years were not what you envisioned. That doesn't mean that you should look at this experience with disappointment or regret. I hope instead you'll embrace this as an opportunity for growth, for new ideas, and a better future. Up to this point in your lives, you've relied on many of these that have come before. Your parents and grandparents, your older brothers and sisters, your teachers and your coaches. They and so many others have played a part in teaching and guiding you. They've been role models, instilling core values in you and helping you discover your strengths and passions. You've depended on them even as they are standing here today celebrating and helped you grow into who you are today. I'm amazed as I stood here as your principal read the names of the accomplishments of 96% of this class. You've already defied the odds. You're such a unique class. One of the reasons I wanted to be here today is to basically say to you, there is nobody in this arena, in this outside stadium today, that has a better, more well-tuned, defined opinion of where we are in this country and what you just came through with COVID than you. You're going to have kids someday, and other people are going to say to you, hey, what were you doing when that COVID thing hit? And you will have already built a legacy to say, you know what? I was a senior in high school. We had to pitch in as a team. Our whole state had to make sure that we stayed away from our grandparents, that we were responsible about social distancing and masks and all the litany of things that we've gone through in this state. And you know, there's no political person in the state of Indiana that could possibly take credit for how we've done as a state, emerging as one of the finest and toughest economies in the country. But you can, because it took every Hoosier to stand together and defy an enemy trying to come in and break up our community. I want to stand here today as a member of Congress looking you in the eye and thank you for the role that you played. Thank you for how responsible you were. And thank you for the insight that when you go from here, whether you go into the armed services, a college, a trade school, wherever you're going, that you take that insight with you. And maybe there's things you learned during that time saying, I would never do that. And we should have done this. You know what? We need that input. We need that insight, because one of your leaders said today, you are the next generation. I'm so glad you are. And I'm so grateful I have 2 minutes to stand before you and congratulate you on the phenomenal leadership you're going to have for this country. And I, for one, support you in whatever you do. You're entering a new stage of life. One of not only tremendous opportunity, but tremendous responsibility. Those that came before you increasingly are turning to you. When you say goodbye to the parents and the grandparents, they start looking at you as the leader of tomorrow and the problem solvers as they let go of those reins. We look to your generation to be innovators, entrepreneurs, risk takers, and leaders who build a path to a better future. Your generation is so unique. You're entering adulthood in a pandemic, something that none of us have ever seen or lived through. I can't wait to see what it unleashes inside of you. As you depart Jimtown High School, the world is not the same as when you arrived. It's completely different. That means that more than any generation before yours, you'll have a chance to shape the world literally and make it better. What you do with this moment in history will define what life is like on the other side of this crisis. And make no mistake about it, Jimtown Jimmies, there is a victorious side of this. We are coming out on the other side of coronavirus, and we are going to be victorious as a country. This is not a stopping place for you or for us as a nation. We are coming out, we're coming out stronger, and we are absolutely depending on you to be a part of that team. We're blessed to live in a country that was founded on the principles of liberty and justice for all. We all have a duty to generations of the past, present, and future to strive toward a more perfect union. We're called to serve others, preserve freedom, pursue justice. The future of the American dream is in your hands, and it's very much alive for every one of you. And for every one of you in these bleachers, the American dream is alive and well, and I can't wait till you walk through that door. I'm certainly not the first one to tell you this, and I won't be the last. We will not be defined by the challenges that we face, but we'll be defined in how we overcome them, and we're overcoming one right now. We can't control the obstacles that make our paths tough, but we can determine how we get past them. And we can help clear the path for others too. You have the power to make a difference. It's called the power of one. What one person can accomplish with hard work, determination, and faith in the mission. You can face any challenge, solve any problem, achieve any goal. And when we work together and multiply that power, we can do even more. We've stood together fighting for this nation as a team. When we came out, and when we come out forever from this COVID attack and get it behind us, we'll still be standing with you, believing for your success and a great future. I have every confidence you'll take on these challenges that come your way, and you will achieve great things. So congratulations, Jimtown class of 2020. I wish you nothing but great success. May God bless every single one of you graduates, your parents, your grandparents, and everybody that's in this field today. And may God continue to bless these United States of America. Congratulations.
That was State Representative Jackie Walorski. And if any of you listeners out there are long-term listeners, you already know that we have quite the history with her. She's been on a show with us before. We've talked with her.
Thank you, Congresswoman Walorski. We truly appreciate those encouraging words. We thank you for that, and we thank you for choosing to be here today and being with us and spending the afternoon with us. At this time, I would like to invite Miss Shania Lee, our 2020 valedictorian, to the stage to address the class. Shania.
Good afternoon, and thank you to all the staff, students, and guests for attending today's graduation ceremony. My name is Shania Lee, and I am the valedictorian of the class of 2020. It is hard to believe that just a few months ago, we were confronted with the possibility that this day would never happen, that we would be like the millions of other seniors who have to move on in life without having the day we all dreamed about for the past 4 years. But fortunately, here we are today, standing in front of the ones we love, about to close one chapter of our lives and begin another, and for that, we thank the people who made this possible. Now, if I'm to be completely honest, I had no idea what to make this speech about. And with this title of valedictorian, I felt pressured to say something that was either impactful, inspiring, emotional, or a combination of all three. But I didn't want to stand here today and say words that didn't resonate with me just to fit some criteria, because if my own words hold no meaning to me, there was no chance they will hold any meaning to you. So for the few minutes I have on this stage, I would like to speak to you not as Shania Lee, the valedictorian, but as Shania, your classmate and friend. These last 4 years have been far from uneventful. I have met so many new people, experienced events that changed my life, and faced challenges that I never thought I would overcome. But there is one particular challenge I faced, and even to this day, I believe that I'm still in the process of overcoming, and that is feeling lost. Now, on the outside, I always try to present the best version of myself by being prepared for everything. But on the inside, I feel like I struggle to find my true meaning in life. And for me, that was surprising, because how could someone feel like they have no purpose in life? Well, think about this. In elementary school, we will always be asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I remember that I always said I wanted to be a doctor without any thought, and that was fine, because I was just a child who still had years to figure it out. But then, as I started to get older and life began to become more complicated, that simple question soon became a burden. It became a burden because I have not yet found that true passion or calling that I see and hear people who love what they do talk about. But nevertheless, I was still trying to give an answer to that question, even though I knew the truth, because I was scared of what people would think of me if I said I didn't know, because everyone expects me to become successful. But then I had to ask myself, what does being successful even mean? Because for you, it can mean making a certain amount of money and having a certain career, while for someone else, it can mean something completely different. And it took me a while to realize that I am the only person who can decide whether or not I am successful in life, because I spend so much time letting others' definition determine mine. And even though I know that some people will always judge the choices I make, I constantly remind myself that I have to do what I know is best for me, because no one else is going to live my life besides me. And I have no doubt that some of you have felt the same way, feeling pressured to live your life a certain way in order to cater to other people's expectations. But you have to remember that the only person who's going to live your life is yourself, and that the people who pushed you to do something you didn't want to do will never have to live through the consequences those choices made. So I encourage you to please choose what's the best for you and not anyone else, because the people who truly care about you will support you no matter what. And as we walk away from this school one last time and step into a new chapter of life, I hope you always remember that the only person that determines your life is you and only you. Thank you.
All right, that was Shania Lee, the 2020 valedictorian.
Thank you, Shania. It is now time to begin the assisting or the certification of the senior class. Assisting with the awarding of the diplomas this morning are the members of the Bago School Board of Trustees and administration. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand when I call your names and remain standing until all are called. Mr. Byron Sanders, Superintendent. Mr. Doug Chaffee, Interim Assistant Principal. Mr. Caleb Pontius, President of the Board of Trustees. Mrs. Julie Newcomer Phillips, Vice President of the Board of Trustees. Mr. Chris Seymour, Board of Trustees Secretary. Mr. Troy Bontrager, Board of Trustees Member. Mr. Eric Ott, Board of Trustees Member. Please join me in thanking them for their service to Bago Community Schools. Thank you. You may be seated. It is now time for the presentation of diplomas. As a reminder, this is a formal ceremony. Please remain considerate of others during this reading of the graduates' names. Everyone must have an opportunity to hear the names of their students as they are announced. Thank you for your cooperation in this matter. At this time, will the class of 2020 please stand? Members of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Sanders, honored guests, parents, and distinguished faculty. By the authority vested in me as the principal of Jimtown High School, I now certify that the names you will hear this 11th day of July in the year 2020 have met all of the course requirements set forth by the State Board of Education, the State of Indiana's Department of Education, and the Bago Community School District Board of School Trustees. Class of 2020, you may be seated. Mr. Chaffee, will you please come forward and announce the names of the seniors that I have entrusted you as the assistant principal? Following the calling of each senior, I ask that each board member please remain and join me in congratulating each senior as they come across the stage. Once again, I ask that you please hold your applause until all of the seniors are announced.
Row one. Ada Albarreos Grana. Elizabeth Lee Abaugh. Ethan Andrew Allen. Jessica Ann Alvey. Monica Ambrose. Gavin Pierce Anderson. David Alejandro Arujo Vera. Jenna Lynn Armour. Cameron Michael Atkinson. Cherub Michaela Augustine. Sarah Grace Baird. Garrett Matthew Bates. Karina Becker. Brenda Bernal. Andrew Donald Blau. Julia Elizabeth Bowman. Zakaria Brothers. Carl Lawrence Brown. Jenna Lynn Burkhart. Row 2. Sandra Martin Burkholder. Abraham Timofeyevich Bazalski. Gavin Rhett Camp. Jaden Ty Camp. Clay Joseph Campbell. Taylor Ann Carter. Dustin Carl Cassidy. Jacqueline Cervantes. Andrew John Coble. Brandon Charles Coble. Leanna Renee Coble. Jacob Addison Cook. Brittany Sue Kopp. Kevin Efren Corona. Andrew Jacob Cortez. Kaylee Michelle Crane. Row 3. Grace Ardell Crocker. Megan A. Cyrus. Brady Lee Davis. Gabrielle Olivia Desimone. Gianna Maria Desimone. Jose Simon Diaz Vera. Natalia Dominguez Tamayo. Kendall Ruth Dover. Colton Luke Dover. Dylan Dale Dudek. Andrew Dennis Eaton. Trenton John Eaton. Ethan Michael Eberhardt. Kaylee Marie Eby. Daniel James Everett. Olivia Rose Farkas. McKenna Ryan Farrell. Row 4. Abraham Charles Fleming. Lucas Asher Flick. Ashley Renee Flora. Tristan Michael Friel. Lucas Jacob Freilich. Adam Zachary Fry. Hunter Michael Funderburk. Blake Allen Garrettson. Nicholas Robless Goins. Aaliyah Jean Gordy. Henry John Gratzel. Bryce David Griffey. Abigail May Griffin. Aubrey Lauren Gruber. Tanya Gutierrez. Sarah Elizabeth Ellen Hall. Canyon John Camby. Hamby. Canyon John Hamby. I apologize. Row 5. Paige Madison Harper. Thomas James Harris. Mason Dennis Havens. Blake Michael Hayes. Katie Mae Helton. Ivan Herden. Alejandro Giovanni Hernandez. Catalina Annie Hilger. Lindsay Lee Holloman. William Barry Holmes. Riley Mikkel Horvath. Macy May Howard. Haley Marie Hummel. Devin Alexander Jameson. Marvon Marcus Justice. Maverick Joseph Kochelko. Jacob Thomas Moose. Row 6. Marcus James Lang. Samantha Diane Laws. Jamie Lynn Lawson. Shania Lee. Ashley Miranda Lehman. Lee Allen Looney. Shane Andrew Lovely. Dylan Scott Loy. Morgan Elizabeth Majeski. Reagan Lynn Major. Ryan Connor McOwen. Lucas Gabriel Medford. Anthony James Mendez. Mason Robin Miller. Seth Ryan Mishler. Thomas Edward Mitchell. Row 7. Haley Renee Moore. Jordan Brianna Mora. Michaela Tiana Morales. Martin James Moyer. Fiona May Newcomer. Logan Allen Nunez. Isabel Ortega. Andres Guy Ortega Cortez. William Jack Pollock. Audrey Renee Pearson. Cody Allen Petcher. Louisa Perez. Maria Alejandra Pettit. Preston Anthony Phillips. Anthony John Pletcher. Kaylee Taylor Poole. Casey James Pratt. Row 8. Thaddeus Lawrence Guy Pratt. Alexia Brianne Princell. Jordan E. Reeves. Manez Reisacker. Braden Luke Rice. Brianna Marie Riffle. Michael Scott Rubino. Corbin Michael Russell. Bailey Reese San Gabriel. Luis Osvaldo Santos. Alec Jennings Schneider. Jordan Shane Shue. Samuel Richard Schwartz. Reagan Eileen Schwinn. Jake Edwin Seymour. Cole Robert Sheets. Row 9. Joey Lynn Shreve. Elliot David Shoulders. Robert Lee Skibby. Michaela Ann Smith. Abigail Kaylee Snyder. Nicholas Henry Snyder. Quentin Edward Svetnoff. Travis Scott Tabor. Sierra Brooke Thomas. Victoria Sue Thomas. Grace Ann Thornton. Drew Marie Track. Zachary Hayden Treadway. Elizabeth Joanne Turpin. Michelle Vega. Torrance Jean May Watterson. Elizabeth Marie Watson. Caden John Waugh. Morgan Anna Wiesner. Jacob Michael Wirtz. Eva Rain White. Dustin Christopher Whitman. Jonathan Tyler Wiggins. Robert Lewis Williams. Oscar Elias Zalea. Okay, row 9, you can be seated now.
Let's please give the senior class one more round of applause. It is now time in our ceremony for the presentation of the class gift. At this time, would Mr. Ethan Allen, the 2020 class president, and Miss McKenna Betzer, our 2021 class president, please join me on the stage for the exchange of the class gift.
On behalf of the 2020 senior class, I would like to present this key as a symbolic gift to the class of 2021. It is now your responsibility and honor as the class of 21 to lead and model our code of ethic and represent Jimtown High School and the entire Jimtown community. May God bless the class of 2021.
Seniors, please stand and join your class president, Mr. Ethan Allen, in the turning of your tassel from right to left. I would like to introduce to you for the first time the class of 2020 graduates. And at this last time, I would like to introduce to you Mr. Byron Sanders, the superintendent of Bago Community Schools, for closing remarks.
Thank you, Mike. Graduating class, as superintendent of Bago Community Schools, it is my pleasure to recognize you as the class of 2020 graduates of Jimtown High School. Please give them a round of applause. I've had a unique experience with you. I've both served as your principal and now as your superintendent, and what a pleasure and honor to be here with you today. Congratulations on a job well done. Members of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Stout, honored guests, parents, distinguished faculty, Congresswoman Walorski, Please join me in congratulating one last time the newest cohort of alumni of Jimtown High School, the class of 2020. There you got it. There you go. All right, make some noise. Let the community hear it. All right.
Thank you for being here this afternoon.
Once again, congratulations, seniors. This has been absolutely incredible. You guys have done an amazing job. One thing that actually hit me while we were listening to all that was this is the first graduating class of the decade. That is amazing. They have set quite the precedent for the rest of the decade. You know, I'll be joining them next year. Hopefully we can live up to what they've set as far as expectations for this decade. This has been, it's been an honor to be a part of this. You know, I just, again, I'd like to thank everyone who's helped make this happen. The seniors, the staff for the school, the teachers, everyone that came to support it. You know, also, since this is broadcasting, sound is a bit of an important part. It's only everything we do. So I'd like to give a huge shout out to DB Sound and Lighting Inc. for making everything here possible today. Without them, we wouldn't have this set up. You wouldn't be hearing me talking right now. So thank you so much to DB Sound and Lighting. You guys are incredible. Thank you to everyone. Goodbye.